Manchester United and Chelsea played out a 1-1 draw in this weekend's crunch Premier League encounter at Stamford Bridge. The score was surprising, but what was more surprising was the fact that interim manager Michael Carrick decided to bench Cristiano Ronaldo in favour of a younger and more mobile frontline. We're certain that Ronaldo was not happy with his former teammate's decision. However, if he was really feeling that way, the veteran forward didn't show it. While he doesn't get a lot of plaudits, Diogo Jota is becoming Liverpool's most important player, and his influence continues to grow. Sergio Ramos has finally returned to playing football and made his debut for PSG in a game that was sadly marred by Neymar's horrific injury. Bayern Munich and Barcelona are chasing a very versatile midfielder who's doing very well in Ligue with Marseille. We've got so many things to talk about, so if you like our content, join our family and hit the bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we post something new. It's an unclear situation and anything can happen. The 22-year-old Boubacar Kamara is doing well for Marseille and is one of the most important players there. He's having an amazing season so far, but doesn't really know what the future holds for him. His contract at the Velodrome expires next June, and he'll be free to discuss terms with foreign clubs from January 1st. Marseille do want to tie him down to a long-term deal, but if the player shows no interest, they'll be forced to sell him in January. The youngster still has a decent transfer value, and according to rumours, 4 clubs are interested in his services. The likes of Juventus and Newcastle United have already been credited with an interest, and now it appears that both Bayern Munich and Barcelona are also looking to sign him up. Bayern are willing to wait things out and sign him as a free agent in June, but Barcelona might be willing to make a move in January since Xavi could do with some versatility in his squad. Diogo Jota is in the form of his life. He scored 2 goals in Liverpool's 4-0 win over Southampton, and it actually only took him a few minutes to get his brace. The forward has been in fine form since the start of the season, and with 7 goals and 1 assist, is also the second highest scorer in the Premier League, behind Mohamed Salah, who has 11 goals and 8 assists. With a great burst of speed that helps him morph into a versatile centre forward, the 24-year-old is a complete player and is likely to have an amazing career at Anfield. He signed for Liverpool in 2020, following a great 3-year spell with Wolves. Jurgen Klopp brought him into the club in order to give the likes of Salah, Firmino and Sadio Mane more competition, and Jota came into his element with the Reds, scoring his first hat-trick against Atalanta in the Champions League. A knee injury in December last year sidelined him for 21 games, which did hold him back, but since then, the star forward has become an undisputed starter for Klopp. Able to play as a winger, as he did with Wolves, Jota's importance to the team will only continue to grow, especially when Mane and Salah leave England to participate in the African Cup of Nations. Despite a mixed bag of a first year at the club, Jota has now become one of the first names on the team sheet, and no one can argue about that. It was a remarkable return for Erling Haaland, who was supposed to be out until next year. The youngster had been missing in action for Dortmund for a few weeks, but managed to make an appearance from the bench in the game against Wolfsburg, where he scored a goal. Clearly the injury wasn't as bad as we were made to believe. The young striker is back, so it would be wrong of us to not talk about his future. Erling Haaland is at the heart of a huge battle between the biggest European clubs for his services. In recent weeks, it is Real Madrid and Chelsea who seem to have taken the lead in this mad race for the last goose that lays the golden eggs for Mino Raiola. But according to English publications, Manchester United have regained their hopes following the arrival of Ralf Rangnick. It was the veteran German who had signed the Norwegian for RB Salzburg in January 2019 when he was working for the Red Bull Group. United's senior leadership believes that Rangnick's presence will make it easier to attract the player to Old Trafford. The English media also talks about the famous release clause of €75 million, which has never been officially confirmed as a reminder, and know that the Red Devils have the financial muscle to pay it. In this story, it is not the one who will be the highest bidder who will win, but the one who will be the most convincing, and with Rangnick, Manchester United have quite a few good arguments. Before we delve into what the French winger Ousmane Dembélé is doing, let's talk about Barcelona Director of Football Mathieu Alemany's statement. We have been speaking with Ousmane Dembélé for months. They know what we are thinking. His desire is to continue at Barca, his agents as well, and they are keeping an eye on the project. I know that he is happy with the arrival of Xavi. I'm optimistic about Dembélé and I hope that he will continue. The club is optimistic, even though the mercurial winger has not agreed on an extension yet. Signed from Dortmund for €105 million in 2017 to compensate for Neymar's departure to PSG, Dembele has been ravaged by injuries that have prevented him from shining the way someone of his talent should. And with his contract set to expire in June, the club is having a hard time convincing him to sign a new deal. Recently, Newcastle United offered a lucrative deal to the Barcelona winger, offering him $15 million a year and a $15 million signing bonus. Dembele reportedly turned down that offer and decided to play the waiting game. There are a lot of suitors, and it's being said that one of the top 6 Premier League sides would be happy to offer him €20 million a year. The sum is insane, but it's being claimed that Dembele's injury troubles will be over soon. This is why the Catalans are so desperate to hold on to a player who can play a huge role in reviving the club's fortunes. The Blaugrana have not given hopes of extending the player's deal, but the problem is that the player's entourage believe that their client is a future Ballon d'Or contender and should be treated as such in terms of salary. This means that Barcelona are more likely to lose out on his services because, hey, the club no longer has the financial clout that it used to have a few years ago. On Sunday, PSG further consolidated their grip atop the Ligue standings with a 3-1 win over Saint-Etienne. The game saw Sergio Ramos finally make his debut. Unfortunately, the Spanish centre-back's first game for his new team was overshadowed by a serious injury to Neymar, who was in pain after twisting his ankle following minimal contact with Ivan Masson. The Brazilian was stretchered off the pitch, and the manner in which he went down clearly shows that he'll be out for quite some time. Following the game, Mauricio Pochettino admitted that he has no idea how long it will take for Neymar to return. Regardless, we can't help but feel happy about Ramos returning to full-time fitness. Throughout the game, the former Real Madrid man did what was expected of him. His distribution was precise, and he was a true leader at the back. Being flexible is always important, and now that PSG have a fully fit Ramos to rely upon, they can even use a 3-man defense, which would add a lot more solidity at the back. Manchester United held on to a 1-1 draw against Chelsea in a game that they didn't dominate. The Blues had enough chances to put the game to bed, but the United defence stood tall. However, the biggest talking point of the game was Carrick's decision to bench Ronaldo in favour of Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford, and it actually did the trick, since both men seemed to be more mobile than the Portugal international. Ahead of the game, Michael Carrick revealed that he wanted to try something different in the game against Thomas Tuchel's men. Cristiano is probably our standout name, but it's just game plan, ideas. I had a good chat with Cristiano actually, he was great, and we've decided to go like that today. Really looking forward to the game. This isn't the first time Ronaldo's been benched at United this season. The 5-time Ballon d'Or winner also started the home game against Everton from the bench, and was then given 33 minutes in the contest that also ended in a 1-1 draw. Nonetheless, Ronaldo did eventually take the field, but his arrival didn't really make much of a difference, as the Red Devils barely held on to what should be considered an important point for a team that is in dire need of fresh ideas. With Ralf Rangnick likely to be announced as the new interim manager later this week, we're definitely going to see some big changes at the club. A lot's been said about Ronaldo's role in the starting 11, since the German likes his players to be more mobile and play a high-pressing game, something that the 36-year-old is not really a huge fan of.